Hi guys, today I have a really exciting video for you. It's definitely exciting for me. So this is my Project Pinpoint first update, and I will of course have my intro link down below, and I'm doing it Project Pinpoint style this year around. I'm not doing the traditional palette, which means I'm trying to focus on, just hitting pan. I always work on two palettes at the same time. One is like one of the oldest palettes and the other one is one of the newer ones, so that way I can focus on both ends, because I do feel those are the palettes I worry about the most, because I don't want my new palettes to sit around not getting used, and also I want to make sure all my old palettes are still in good condition. And at the same time, my goal is to just hit pan on one shade in each palette, and then I will roll it out and try to work on something else, because I think hitting pan on one shade is enough time for me to figure out if I like it or not, and then I can just move on to the next palette already. So at the beginning, I picked two palettes. One is my Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. This one is, one of the older ones, and the other one is my ColourPop Yes Please palette. And of course, this one is one of the newer ones. So I actually have really exciting progress to show you, and I totally didn't expect to do this good, to be honest with you, and I'm just like beyond excited. So let's start with the boring one first. So I didn't do that well with my Yes Please palette from ColourPop. Actually, I don't have any of the shades in here. I took all of them out. I don't know if you feel this way, but this packaging is really hard to maintain clean. It's just like, it gets so dirty and it's impossible to clean it, and I just got so bothered by it. I can't. So I took it out and I put everything into a Z palette, because all the pans are actually magnetized, so why not, right? So I have this like smaller Z palette, so all of the shades are here. You can see that I don't have pan in any shades yet, and if you actually compare it to my last month intro picture, I don't think there's much of a difference. I probably use this palette, I would say maybe 5 days at most. It's becoming more like a companion palette for me, because I'm just using a couple transition shades. I think this peach color right here, you can probably see a dip. I really enjoy using that as a transition shade, and other than that, I don't think I really concentrated on any of the shades in this palette, honestly, at all. I thought I was gonna hit pan in this gold shade. I think, what's the name of it? That one is Butter Cake. I thought I can hit pan on this fairly quickly, but I only used it once. So maybe next month I would try to, focus on this a little more, because I was obsessed with my Wet n Wild palette. So I kind of neglected this a little bit, but I'm still using it here and there as transitions, and I use that brow bone shade. It's just kind of like I wasn't really focusing on it, and I'm gonna continue to work on it next month, and I think I'm gonna be using this more. So the other palette is my Comfort Zone from Wet n Wild, like I said, and this one is just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. So this is what I have on my eyes today, and this has become pretty much my go-to look for the majority of the month. And I was never a green eyeshadow wearer. Like, I was just intimidated by colorful eyeshadows, and I always just wore browns and whatnot. And when I had this palette, for the longest time, I only really just worked on the brown side. And at the intro, you can see that I have some dips in some of the shades, but nothing really like significant. The only thing is probably that eyelid, like brownish color. It has a little crack on top, and it seems like I can hit pan on that pretty fast. So when I went into this palette, I really had really any expectations, because I don't even remember or even know how to work a green color into my eye look. And this is where my palette is at right now. Look at that. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I hit pan on 4 shades, and that's just big surprise to me. And I probably hit pan on all 4 shades in the last week. I think I was just focusing on them a lot. I know right off of the bat, there are 2 shades that I really am not impressed with. Even if one day I completely pan this palette, I wouldn't touch those 2 shades. That is this one on the bottom, this really deep brown one, and this really deep green one right here. So I think both of them are just too deep, and then on the eyes they just look black and they're kind of muddy. It's just like they're not good. Like, I'm not gonna be bothered to even try to use those 2 at all, so I just left them alone. And I love this bottom color. So this is a dual chrome color that shifts from brown to like a deeper green. This is what I use on my outer V a whole lot. And I'm actually surprised I don't have even a dip in that because I do use it a lot. And I use this green all over my lids. That's what I did today. And I use this shade, this lighter green, to put in my inner highlighter kind of situation. And then this like deeper brown shade, it's a total surprise I hit pan on it. I think it must have been from my like previous years of use because I don't think I used it a whole lot, and that's the first one I hit pan on actually. So it's a total surprise, and I sometimes use it in my outer V, you know, interchangeably with this dual chrome shade. So I don't know, like I hit pan on that. It's a good news. I'm not gonna complain about it. And this one I use it the most just underneath my lash line on the bottom lash right here. And I hit pan on it. So that spot actually had a crack before, so if without the crack I don't think I would be able to hit pan. I think that crack definitely helped me to hit pan a lot faster, but again, I'm not complaining. I'm happy with that. And this one, honestly, I didn't use it a whole lot because it's quite shimmery, and sometimes I would use it to highlight my inner corner, but I definitely don't use it under my brow bone. I think it's just too shimmery. I used it here and there, but not a whole lot, you know? So I'm just really happy. Like, it's almost at a point right now, I know I'm supposed to roll it out of this project, but I almost don't want to because how much I enjoy it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I still want to use it, you know? That kind of feeling. But I think I'm still gonna roll it out and use something else just because that's the goal of this project. I want to roll into as many palettes as possible, but I'm just super satisfied with this progress. And at the same time, I do realize most of the shades are really crumbly and powdery now. I don't remember them being this powdery like a few years ago when I first got it, so I think it's getting old. I think that's maybe part of the reason why I hit pan on things so fast too. It's just, you know, they're still pigmented, they still work fine, but I do realize if I use it in conjunction with any other palette, then those shades definitely fade away first on my eyes, like towards the evening time. Like some of the lid shades, they're just like gone on my eyes. So I think it's definitely getting really old now, and I somehow want to pan it. Like it's just that crazy. Like, yes, I hit pan on so many shades, but I love it so much now that I want to completely finish it. I just don't know how, because I know I'm not doing the traditional pan palette this year. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to use it more. All right, so because I hit pan on that palette, the Comfort Zone palette, I'm gonna roll it out and roll in something else that's also pretty old in my collection. So this one, technically it's a quad, but yeah, I think I'm fine with it. Like, it doesn't have to be a 10 pan, 8 pan palette, you know? So I think a quad is fine if I can get good use out of it. And this one has 5 shades in it, but this one is an eyeliner, so it's not really like a eyeshadow, you know? I'm only talking about this quad, those 4 shades down here. And this one is a Laura Mercier palette. Actually, it's all like, what do you call it? Like, you can pop those things out. It's a customized palette, I guess. So you see that each like dual part of the thing could just come out of the palette like that. You can just pop it in. So it doesn't really have a palette name because it's really just 2 duals. So those 4 shades, I can tell you the name of them, of course. So we got Chocolate. This one is a deeper maroon color. And we got Cashmere. This one is kind of like a lighter matte maroon color, like light pink with a little purple in it. And this one is Sable. It's a mid-tone shimmery gray. And the last one is Morning Dew. It's just a matte like brow bone color. I think it's a really stable palette and the colors are easy to use, but I want to use more of this color, to be honest, because when I had this little quad before, I barely used that shade. I just focused on those 3 because they're more neutral. And I know I'm not the biggest like berry color fans before. I don't know if it's just because I didn't know how to use them or what. So I really want to find out how I feel about this little palette right now. So those 4 shades, I don't think it's like a hard task, but at the same time, they are pretty densely packed in there. None of them are powdery or anything, so it might still take me a little bit of time. We'll see about it. I'm just happy I'm coming back to this palette. It's been years since I touched it. So there you have it, guys. I'm really excited about this. I totally didn't expect myself to do this well in the first month. Like, I hit pan on 4 shades. That's just totally crazy. And it got to a point that I almost don't want to roll it out. You know, that just means I'm so glad I rediscovered my comfort zone palette. It's such a gem, and I'm so glad I didn't declutter it. And it's also kind of a shame that I didn't use it for at least like 3 years. I like did not touch it at all for 3 years. That's just crazy. Anyways, I hope I can really go through my collection a little faster, and this way I can hit pan on something and then always roll palettes out every month so that you have good progress to watch as well. And if you have any tips or advices, let me know. I would be interested to learn more about project panning. And don't forget to give me a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe so you can see my future updates. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.